Sarah Spain, back with us. Good to have you here, Sarah. Israel, Frank, Jackie, hello. Today, whatever you do, if you're tied going into buy or sell 3, maybe don't punt. Also, how spotting the football is still the most inaccurate thing done in all of sports. Put a microchip in the ball already. How the Giants got hosed. And yes, the fight at the fight. And the argument may be that it's good for UFC. Let's go around the horn. This is Bob Bryant.
That after the horn?
Can we get someone from MIT to put a microchip in the football?
The horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Tony Reale.
We'll get to that in a second. Texans 19, Cowboys 16. A game played in Texas, according to the broadcast. The Jason Garrett punt in overtime rather than going for it on 4th and 1 from Houston's 42. That preceded Houston's game-winning drive. The call at this point in the season, at this point in Garrett's Cowboys era.
Yeah, it was a long one. You know, we had a 3rd and 2, and we didn't make much on it.
It's time for risk at that particular time. That's not second guessing.
No second guessing allowed. That's a no second guessing. Israel, I'm going to second and third guess everything you say here. Is this in any way defensible?
This is absolutely second guessing, and in no way is it defensible, Tony. Not only did he go for it on a big 4th and 1, meaning Jason Garrett, earlier in the season against Detroit and say, hey, that's to instill some confidence in my team. Not only did he go for it earlier and get a first down with a quarterback sneak, but you have the league's leading rusher as well. And if you go for that in that situation, it is also an easier way to win than having to punt, stop, and then go for the score again. And when you're looking at your team, it's not like it's some explosive team that's going to win easily 12, 13, 14 games and you're just trying to play the standings. No, you have to do something there. The move is run your quarterback. He can fall down and get that long yard, as if being a long 1 yard is a reason not to go for it. It's inexcusable, Tony.
And the longest yard, I think, is what he wanted to call it. Frank Isola, how about you?
Yeah, you know, it's great for the media to have an owner who wants to talk after the game. Not so great if you're the head coach. Of course, it's second guessing. You know, the Browns did the same thing in their overtime game. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, and their defense made a stop, and they got the ball back. He wanted to pin them down. That's what they did. They got him within the 10-yard line. He was leaving up to his defense. They have to get a stop there. I don't have a problem with what they did. They just didn't execute it.
Okay. And, you know, Israel brought up just running with their best running back, Ezekiel Elliott. Well, they ran it with him to play before, and he got stopped.
That's right.
Jackie Mack, though, the idea that this is where the Cowboys are. We know who they are for the last 10 years with Jason Garrett. We know where they are this season, same place, just a 500 team. And this is the decision you make?
But we also know who their owner is. And their owner second guesses Jason Garrett every single day and twice on Sunday, and then says, he's my coach going forward. And by the way, he has been start to finish. And Jason Garrett, this is exactly what I expect him to do. And I'm with Frank here. This game, if you watched it, they were getting pressured the entire game. Right. The only reason the Cowboys were in this game was because of their defense, not because of their offense. Look at Ezekiel Elliott's numbers for the game. They weren't good, Tony. They were not good for the best running back in the league. I'm backing Jason Garrett in this particular situation. You know why else? Because Deshaun Watson, while he had his moments, also had some really panicky young moments when he was under pressure and threw that ball up that everybody knew and the whole place was going to be intercepted. So why not think that he might give you the ball back?
Okay.
I'm all right with Jason
Garrett. So
Garrett
that's 2 now with the Cowboys here. Let's go to Sarah Spain.
Well, you asked if it was defensible, and here's why it was, because the Cowboys' defense had forced a punt or a turnover in 5 of 7 second-half drives. So in theory, when he wanted the identity of the team, at least for this game, to be the defense, you can understand that. That being said, if you're so confident in your defense, you go for it on 4th and 1. If it doesn't work out, they can still get you a stop. But you've given yourself a chance to depend on somebody on the offense. You guys keep mentioning Ezekiel Elliott. Yes, leading rusher. Yes, that's the identity of the team. But since he was struggling that game, why not send in your 6'2", 235-pound quarterback to get a yard, as long as that yard may have been? So, in my opinion, yes, you can defend it. It's not a, oh, my God, that was terrible, but he should have gone for it.
I guess where it comes down to me, and I'll bring in Frank and Jackie since you're seeing the Cowboys side of this is a call I think that was made in 2001 or 1986 or 1965. But are we really playing the game as it is in 2018? Go ahead, Frank.
Well, remember, one of the more famous, going for it on fourth down was Bill Belichick against the Colts, and they had Peyton Manning. To what Jackie said about Deshaun Watson, we all love Deshaun Watson, but for the most part, he's unproven. So you're thinking, we'll put him back on the 10, and we'll see if we could get him to make a mistake. To Watson's credit, he came through. Dallas's defense let them down.
Okay, but that's about the defense. I'm talking about the way the game is played now, Jackie Mack. That this decision the Cowboys made last night is not the way the playbook is played in 2018.
Right, which is why Sean McVay is the one that everybody thinks is a genius, because he went for it in the same situation on Sunday, and look how well it went for his undefeated team. But this is who Jason Garrett is. You can't ask him to be somebody else now after all these years. That's just
Israel,
not how it
can
works.
you ask him? Can you ask a quarterback who has given you, I don't have it in front of me, but basically a 500 season every year -1 for the last decade? Can you ask him to be somebody else?
I think even a defense in that same locker room will tell you, get that yard, instead of asking us to stop a potential explosive quarterback in Deshaun Watson and that guy who made that play, DeAndre Hopkins. And, by the way, you could also go for a field goal and go for the win right there, because earlier in the day somebody went for a field goal 4 yards longer. Obviously, they had to, and won that game anyway. So there's other ways you can do this. They went about the most difficult way of winning the game.
There was about 17 other missed kicks yesterday, so let's not go to the field goal so soon. Okay, all right, I'm going to keep this in mind, Jackie and Frank, when maybe you're down 8 points going into buy or sell 3, maybe you'll punt as well.
Wait and see, Tony. You never know. We're not
We'll move on.
Buy
Buy or sell. Headline number 2, I should say. Panthers 33, Giants 31. The only kick in week 5 that wasn't embarrassing. If you don't know now, you know. But the comments coming from Giants players. A win stolen. NFL has some explaining to do. Feels like you're playing against 2 teams out there. Giants had beef with about 4 calls in this game, but it's the 4th one. Refs giving McCaffrey a first down, not measuring, not reviewing, and Newton spiking the ball before anyone knew what was up. Some reporting today is suggesting that league did take a look at this and made a rule immediately that it wasn't going to be overturned. I don't know how that's possible in those 6 seconds. But let's talk about this play. We do this every week. Did this team get robbed? Yada, yada, yada. But did the Giants get robbed here, Frank?
Well, I do believe in watching this game. I didn't understand how you don't come out for a measurement. The Giants at least deserved that, because it looked, as you're watching it, that they stopped them. And I get it. You want the clock to run if you're the Giants, but we know what happens. The measurement, it should have been 4th down, and now the Panthers are up against it, because with time running out, they either have to kick a field goal right there and rush their team onto the field, or try to throw the ball out of bounds and get a first down. The Giants got robbed at the end of this game. I'm not saying that's why they lost, but they got robbed.
Jackie, you agree?
They absolutely deserved a review in that play. It was too close. And I don't believe for a second, Tony, that there was time to say, yep, we reviewed it. This is fine.
Yep,
on
I
with
agree
the
with
show.
you there.
There's no way that could have possibly happened. So they deserve that. But you can't point to this as the reason they lost the football game. That's taking it too far.
Sarah Spain?
The problem is consistency, right? Because we saw the Browns get robbed versus the Raiders because they went to double check and then they changed the call and then they said they didn't get it. Here we're saying a team got robbed because they didn't go double check. The issue is you need to be consistent about close plays, and whether or not in the end you feel like the review that they made was the right one, it needs to at least go to a review when it's as close as that play was. So while it didn't steal the game from the Giants, who made plenty of mistakes on their own and shouldn't have been in that position anyway, it did matter to that game, and that's why I understand their beef.
Israel.
It mattered to that game, but I'm not allowing the post-game Giants locker room to dictate how I saw that game. I saw a team in the Giants that would have been very fortunate to get to overtime there. I saw a team in the Giants that probably wouldn't have won in overtime at that point. Eli Manning was not very good, and the best quarterback on the field for that team seemed to be Odell Beckham with the toss that he threw. So I don't really like to spend a lot of time on these late-game calls just because the heated guys in the locker room say, hey, that's the reason we lost.
All right, you took us there. Let's talk about it then. Odell Beckham and whether Eli can only throw shallow and he can't throw a deep ball. And Beckham literally said, I'm the only guy who can throw the deep ball. Problem here, Frank?
Well, I don't think what he said really had any impact on the game. But if you want to be taken seriously, and it seems like a lot of times Odell Beckham doesn't want to be taken seriously, you're going to really sit down with an interview with Lil Wayne sitting next to you. That whole part of it looked absurd. In the game that he had, he threw a touchdown pass, he caught one, but he also muffed that punt. He made a major mistake in that game. Great player, but everything about him is exhausting. All the talking, enough already.
Jackie Mack?
Everything about him, that's exactly right. He is a diva. That's because he's a receiver. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. That was a passive-aggressive shot, at Manning. I don't care what anybody says, and he can claim all he wants. It galvanized his team. All he did was passive-aggressively ask for a new quarterback.
I don't think it was that passive. You said it was I don't think it was that passive. The only thing that was passive was about the time it was in the air. How about you, Sarah Spain?
Yeah, listen, if he wants to convince us that having a chat with his team about all of this ended up being a good thing, then he should have started with having a chat with his team and not going to the media to talk about his issues. This is a guy who, if anybody else had made the mistake that he did on that punt return, would have probably in his head been pointing fingers and said it was about a lack of focus and not caring enough.
Although
but when
it's
him
interesting.
Doing it, it's probably because he cares so much that he wants to do everything
right,
he
cares
can.
more than anybody.
And
But
if
it's
that's the way your
interesting-
brain works, it's always going to be, there's always going to be a problem.
To hear a member of the media say, you know what, he shouldn't go to the media with this. He should go to his team. That was an interesting take from Sarah Spain. Real quick, let's get a microchip in the football so we know where to spot it.
I'm all right.
John Paul Reale, my brother, you work for NASA. You know what, leave the spaceship behind and let's design some type of football where it's not a name drop, it's my own brother. I'm allowed to drop my brother's name, Jackie. We'll move on. Better win to get to 5-0, the Chiefs defensively flexing and rolling the Jaguars, or the Rams pulling out that tight one in Seattle? Point blank question, Sarah. Answer it.
It's absolutely the Chiefs, and here's why. We know both of these are good teams, but we saw the Chiefs do it in a way we haven't before. Mahomes, 300 yards against the Jags, the first time a QB's done that in 15 games against that defense. And the Chiefs' defense forcing 5 turnovers. Now, you could say it was Blake Bortles, and that's a part of it for sure. But this is a team that won in a different way. This is a bigger win to me than beating a Seahawks team that's kind of up and down and not that great.
Who had the bigger win, Israel, Chiefs or Rams?
Yeah, that Seahawks win isn't that great for the Rams. Their defense didn't look very good, and it should have, especially that secondary. Yeah, it's the Chiefs for all the reasons that Sarah just said. And Frank, by the way, be careful with Lil Wayne. Check his win percentage on this show and check yours, and you say who should be critical.
All right, and also don't call him little, please. All right, go ahead, Frank.
Did he talk or did he just nod the whole time to everything that Odell Beckham said? Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
The biggest win was the Rams. They're undefeated. They went on the road. It was a fourth-quarter comeback. Give the Chiefs a lot of credit. But that game, come on, guys, that was more about the performance of Blake Bortles. And it makes you wonder, can he win a minimum of 3 playoff games, including the Super Bowl? Didn't look like it yesterday.
Big Mullen.
I'm with Frank here again with the Rams. Goff did not have a great game, but they still went into Seattle. I don't care if they're up and down. That's still one of the toughest places in the NFL to pull out a win, and they did exactly that and stayed undefeated with a lot of eyes on them. The Chiefs' defense still isn't good. I'm sorry. Not Bortles, baby. Nope.
Great points, Jackie.
Gutierrez 18, Spade 17. Isola McMullen. She's got some work to do by herself. Stick around.
Well, punt.
Tag team over there.
Lil
I didn't mean
Wayne.
name dropper. I meant profession dropper. Sorry.
Profession dropper. Thank you.